Okay, everybody, welcome back to the long-awaited, much-requested return of my podcast, Brock Talk. This is going to be episode 2 of Brock Talk. I'm in a slightly different part of my apartment to record. The lighting isn't great, but I don't care. We'll get into that. The last episode of Brock Talk I did was nearly 2 years ago at this point. It was like June 27th of 2023, where I talked about the games I played in the first half of 2023. I said that I would come back and do another one about the games I played in the second half of 2023. That obviously didn't happen. I heard online that most podcasts, like 90% of podcasts, stop after 7 episodes, and then if they get to 7 episodes, 7 episodes after that, or not long after that, like another 90% of them stop. And so I stopped doing mine after 1 episode. So I guess we're sitting here. Man, my hair is a mess right now. I'm kind of a mess right now. But right now, I guess the goal is to get to 7 episodes. Now, I'm really thankful for everybody who wanted to see more Brock Talk. I stopped doing it because I just didn't have the energy for it. And I kind of didn't care, respectfully. Sometimes I feel like when it comes to podcasts, I feel like I've brought this up in previous videos, where if it's just me talking, there isn't a ton of effort that goes into it. There's more than I realize, but it just feels, I don't know, I get maybe in my brain I'm just too like, oh, I can just sit down and talk whenever I want, so then I don't do it because I'm like, oh, all I'm doing is talking. So with the lighting and my hair kind of being a mess, I'm not a huge like beauty person, or like I try to make myself look presentable, but like I don't mind if my hair is a little rough. But I was like, look, a lot of people say they want to see more Brock Talk, and I'm very thankful for that. And so I was like, okay, we're just going to sit down and write a couple notes, and I have a few on my phone. That's kind of, see me glance down, that's what I'm looking at. And just hit record and just kind of get on the mic and start spitting, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? One thing I thought about was, I guess a video is a video, a podcast is a podcast, a spade is a spade, or whatever kind of thing. Like, it feels like, is this really a podcast? What makes something a podcast? Like, is it just, if you talk to Will Sasso, he'll be like, it's just 2 dudes shitting around. Here, I guess for me, it's just one guy shitting around. I think I swore too early into a YouTube video, but whatever. No one's watching this. And I've also thought, like, are podcasts, like, are they kind of like cringe now, or is it like, oh, another one of these? But I heard an interesting take. This is from Sean Crawford on the Varsity House podcast. He's like, I don't think that there's too many people trying to play sports. I don't think there's too many people trying to make music. I don't think there's, whatever. So he's like, I don't think there's too many podcasts. So it is like definitely a saturated market, but it's nice that there's always, I think there's always something. There's something for everybody. I was going to say there's always something there for someone, but it's nice that if you can find a podcast on almost anything. I don't know how long people want these to be. I feel like a good length, the standard length for a podcast, is like 45 minutes to an hour. I think anything over that, unless you have like something really good going on, is like way too long. But for this episode, kind of like all my other videos, like it's going to be a mix of me talking with notes, a little bit of rambling, somewhat organized, somewhat not. My refrigerator just turned on. Hopefully that isn't too loud. For this episode, I wanted it to be kind of the tale of 2 halves, so to speak, like 2 sides of the same coin, where in the beginning topic is going to be a little more like serious or personal, and then the second half we'll talk about some fun, fluff stuff to kind of send us home smiling and with some happy thoughts, so to speak, Also, I did say about my kitchen. All right, I'm repeating myself. I'm in my kitchen. Also, there's this nice back window that leads to like my kind of small backyard area. It's this great field with this beautiful mountain in the far back. So sometimes I'll just stare off into that and start talking and try to stay focused on this. But without further ado, let me check my notes. Yeah, okay. Without further ado, let's get into this first topic here. Again, this is going to be the more serious or personal of the two. And over the past couple of months on Netflix, I've been watching a documentary series called Last Chance U. It's a documentary series on Netflix about junior college or community college. Well, I guess JUCO, community college, it's kind of the same there, of junior college football teams and their journey through the season and them trying to get to the NFL or just, do whatever with their lives. And I finished the documentary, I finished the series a month or two ago, and man, I loved it. I thought it was really good. I enjoy, learning about these new places and seeing these, these kids in, I was going to say high school, but these kids in college, in their community college, and they're kind of being knuckleheads, and I'm sitting here and I'm watching and I'm like, dang, you guys have it. You're right there. You just need to focus. I really wish you guys would just, you're on the path, you're doing it right, just stop being a knucklehead. But, it's also difficult to focus on that when you're a kid, and I was trying to think of myself. I'm like, man, I remember being young and just wanted to be a knucklehead and not realizing what I had or, where I was going, which led me to this thought that I wish somebody would make a documentary about my life. Not that it would be that interesting, especially not right now. And I'm not too worried about if other people watch it, but I'm more focused on the ability to see myself from an unbiased perspective. I feel like I have a lot of flaws and a lot of things I need to work on and things that need to change, things I need to be better about. But I'm not sure if you see the forest for the trees kind of thing. I don't know if that exactly applies here, but just I'm so stuck in my ways. I'm so, I don't know, stubborn or whatever. It's so hard for me to be oh, that's what I look like. That's what I look like to other people. That's how I act with other people. One of the main people in the documentary after the first season, he says oh, I watched the documentary and I saw myself and I went, I don't like that guy. I want to change that guy. He's speaking about himself, and I would like to make changes. I'm kind of in that boat, but again, I can't see myself from an unbiased perspective. And I feel like I could point out a few things. I can point out a few things that I'm doing. I'm like, okay, well, this definitely needs to be fixed. I need to eat better. I need to be more responsible with certain things. But it just feels like there's these big issues that I have. I just can't identify them or see them. But if I could see it from this third perspective, or just this unbiased perspective, like a documentary would, then I feel like I could be better about, changing it or whatever. And I feel like with other people, not that I'm an expert, but I feel like other people have told me about, this is a problem in my life, or this someone could be I used to work with this guy years and years ago. He was man, I just never have any money. Things are so expensive. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Things are expensive. And then, the day after payday or even on payday, he's like, dude, I just got the new AirPods. And in my head, I'm like, okay, dude, you can't complain about not having money when you're buying the new AirPods, right? So those two have to, you got to take responsibility on their part. So that's another thing. I wish there's all these things I wish I knew exactly. I need to take responsibility on this, but right now I'm just kind of stuck in my ways, and hopefully soon, I don't know how, but hopefully soon I can figure that out. But it's a great documentary, by the way, if you enjoy football, or if you really just enjoy a lot of the stories were very inspiring to me. I enjoyed hearing all their different stories, seeing a completely different side of life that I don't know about. It's cool to see that side, and honestly, I'm sitting there watching that show, I'm begging these kids, and I'm like, dude, you have it, dude, just stop being a knucklehead. So that's a thought that crossed my mind, was that a documentary or something. Somebody filmed something about me, asked me questions, and I can watch it back and be like, oh, that's the kind of person I am, or that's how I really am. That's what I need to fix. Another thing, I just thought of this. When it comes to podcasts, I feel like I'm not a great speaker. Like I'm trying better to not rush what I'm saying. I feel like I think very quickly, so then my mouth is trying to keep up with my mind. I start speaking quickly and I get excited, so then I start yelling. I have to remind myself to kind of like, hey, slow it down, like, hey, slow it down, say a little bit. Now I have to slow it down, make sure I'm enunciating, make sure people can understand what I'm saying. All the time I'm so nervous to say something that I say it really fast, and no one can understand what I'm saying because I'm saying it so fast, just like that. Although I kind of did that intentionally. Okay, so that's all I have to say about that. Let's get into some fun stuff to kind of send us home on this one. I look down at the timer; it's only been 12 minutes. Let's see if I can figure out something to fill this time with. It's the new year. The last I checked, we're sitting at 136 subscribers, which is great. That's good stuff. I hope everyone's enjoying what they're seeing. I just played the game. This is funny because in the 2023 video I watched, the 2023 video where I went over the games I played in the first half, Dredge was one of them because it had just came out. And they had a DLC called the Iron Rig that I played through that. It was really good. All the time while playing that game, I just think to myself, like, wow, what a truly magical game. What a truly unique and magical game. I love it. I saw the DLC kind of has, it doesn't say mixed reviews on Steam, but if you look, there are a couple reviews that aren't too favorable, and I think they make some fair points, but I still really love that game, and I loved the DLC. Other than that, I've kind of been doing kind of going back on a lot of stuff. I'm playing the first Lost Planet, which, how'd they lose a whole planet, am I right? Boom, hey, I'll be here all week. I've been playing Lost Planet. That's been kind of somewhat of a fun replay. I think I bought it for like $3 or $2 on an Xbox sale. Like, oh, I like this game. Like, this is a fun one. And replaying it, it's not bad, but I'm like, I guess $3 really isn't a waste. But I feel this need to like complete the games that I bought. And I was like, all right, this game's been bothering me. Let's give it a try. Let's go through it. It's an old Capcom game from back in the day. Thought about making some videos on it. We'll see if those ever come out. What else? Oh, I've just started. Here's another game, another classic. It's Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. This is a game that came out on the original Xbox, like a long, long time ago. And I got pretty close to the end of it. The game says that I was like 60% done, and I got stuck on one boss fight, and I couldn't finish it. So I said, like, I just got to go back and beat it. I'm older now. I'm smarter. I played it when I was a kid and didn't fully understand. It's like a turn-based RPG kind of style game. As a kid, I had no idea what I was doing on those. But now I'm going back into that. I'm like, this is it. This is finally going to be the time that I beat this game. I never have to think about it again. It's not a bad game, but I'm no joke for a long, long time since like since it came out or since a certain point, whenever I was like, I got to go back and finish this. Like, so finally putting the rubber to the road or whatever and getting on the sticks and just breaking down that spit on that thing. How about Haktua, right? That's topical. That's a topical meme, right? I was just talking to my friends about when that meme is going out. They say it's on the way out. Personally, sure, I guess. I don't know. Social media, or not social media. Okay, we'll do some social media because I just thought of this. Supposedly TikTok is going to be banned on January 19th, which is, as of recording, that's less than a week from today. That's like 6 days from today. That's, honestly, like, I made a TikTok a few weeks ago to kind of, like, share some of the shorts. If you want to check it out, it's in my bio on YouTube. And there's some cool stuff on there, but, man, it's a bunch of junk, I think. Like, it's nothing but bots and just I don't get, there's some cool stuff, but man, I think it's just a bunch of junk no matter what you like. Like, if I'm liking a bunch of NFL posts, I still just get a bunch of stupid videos. To anybody working hard on TikTok, though, hey, keep working, right? But personally, like, I don't want to sound like a boomer, but I have caught myself, like, just doom scrolling, not really paying attention, letting the time go. And so I don't know if social media apps need to be completely gone, but it would be nice if somehow, some way, there was, like, 3 weeks out of the year there was just no social media. Like, somehow, some way we could do that. That's what I wish we could do. Maybe even a month of just no social media, but that's not going to be possible. But TikTok going down, I don't know if that's true. That's what everyone's saying. If it is true, I think we're kind of better off, but we'll see. Some other stuff in my life. I just thought of this. I'm just trying to fill the time on this thing. We're at 17 minutes, man. I feel like I've been talking for 17 hours. I chipped one of my teeth in the far back. I was just eating some cereal. I'm pretty frustrated because I got a filling on that tooth, and then it broke. It's like, dude, what did you use? Like fake glue or something? Like, how did it break? It wasn't even like hard cereal. Like, it was it Life cereal? Yeah, Life cereal. I had to look because it's sitting right over there on my fridge. But so I scheduled an appointment to get that checked out, and it's gonna be really expensive. But I've dealt with tooth infections in the past, and it's like constant pain. So if I have to spend a lot of money to not be in constant pain, that's fine by me. I'd look. The biggest piece of advice I could give anybody: take care of your teeth, please. I'm begging you. I don't want anyone to go through what I went through. Like, floss your dang teeth, brush your teeth, get that mouthwash in there. Okay, it's 2 minutes out of the day. It's well, the whole process is probably more like 5 to 6 minutes, but to brush your teeth, that's 1 minute. So I can take a minute and plus to, help out my teeth. But there's a whole host of other things I have to do to make sure my dental hygiene is better. But brush your teeth, man. I'm begging you. Brush your teeth. Take care of your teeth. I feel like I had something. I only wrote so many notes. We're kind of getting to the part of the notes section that I stopped doing notes. Yeah. Literally on my notes right here, it's like talking about me recording in the kitchen. I already did that. Let's go shows-wise. I started rewatching The Walking Dead on Netflix. And man, those first seasons of The Walking Dead, I really like. It's been fun rewatching them. I miss when, like, I don't remember what day they aired, but that was like a special day of the week that, the nation got to sit by their televisions and watch this great show unfold. I never finished the show. I got fairly deep into it and then wasn't able to finish it. I think, I don't know, my dad couldn't pay for cable or some shit like that. So I do want to watch it all, just to say I watched it all. It's like 11 seasons, but not like, doesn't seem to me it's not super long. So I want to finish that, maybe watch some of the spin-off shows. I also started watching Better Call Saul. This is also a rewatch. I did finish this show. That might be my favorite show of all time. It's in the top 5, maybe, probably the top 3 of my favorite shows. And this past couple years, the 2020s in general have been a very difficult time for me personally. I'm sure there's everyone's faced a lot of difficulties as well, but we can all share. We probably all got our own stories from the 2020s, but I just really like Better Call Saul. It always puts me in a good mood, and so I said, hey, dial it up, call them, let's get back into it. Try to get some smiles going, get some laughs. Great show. If you've never watched it, please, and you like Breaking Bad is probably the better show, but man, I'm a Better Call Saul fan. I just am. So, been doing that. I'm trying to think if there's. I watched this is also on Netflix. Netflix has a lot of good stuff. I just want to say that. I know there's been a lot of people aren't happy about the price raises, which I get that, and other things, but I'm a big fan of Netflix. So I'm watching a lot of stuff on Netflix. I watched their documentary, American Nightmare, not to be confused with the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, your WWE champion, but no, the American Nightmare documentary on Netflix. It kind of starts off as the premise is that a guy's wife was kidnapped in the middle of the night, and I don't want to spoil it because it's actually really good, because those Netflix murder slash kidnapping documentaries are kind of a dime a dozen. They're good, don't get me wrong, but they're kind of a dime a dozen. But this one was like, oh, this is like one of the unique ones. This one has like if you gave me 100 guesses, I would have never guessed the way it went. So American Nightmare on Netflix is a 3-part docuseries, and it's really good. It's really good. I'm happy I watched it. Man, I really want to talk spoilers, but if you haven't watched it, please watch it. I won't talk spoilers. The only thing I want to say is that the FBI is looking fishy. All right, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say, FBI. I'm right here. You're looking real fishy, all right? That's all I'm going to say. Let's see if there's anything else going on. Let me think of anything else going on. I don't know, I didn't expect to get through my notes so efficiently. Let's see, we did the 10 books I wanted to read this year video. That was fun. I definitely have a lot more than 10 books to read this year. I probably have like 20 books that I own and just never read. But I wanted to pick 10 that I was really focused and excited on and excited for. Is more of that gift of the gab, just yapping nonsense. So we're reading, in that video I said we're reading Assassin's Creed. I started the second Warhammer Salamanders book. Those are kind of the two I go back and forth between right now. This year, 2025, sadly is kind of starting off with some 2020 vibes, right? Like, I remember 2020, like right before, even like a day or two before 2020 started, like bad things were happening. There was a lot of tense moments, like the U.S. Embassy was attacked, and it was I can't remember. It was in the Middle East somewhere. I can't remember where. I remember, I think a little bit before that, Australia was on fire. So here we are, 2025. LA is on fire. I feel for those people. That's, sometimes I'm sitting here complaining. I'm complaining about not being able to record a video, and then I kind of feel bad because it's like, man, a ton of people just had their homes burnt down. The whole thing was mismanaged. The mayor and all of them not setting up the firefighters properly. The insurance companies reportedly just kind of took away I shouldn't be saying this without knowing the full details, but they took away the insurance of the people, so now they're not going to get reimbursed for their houses being burnt down. That's a really awful sight to be in. We had the incident in New Orleans, so really just from a personal standpoint, a decent start other than my tooth being chipped, an okay start to the year, but for other parts around the country and around the world, it's really just not looking great, and our heart goes out to all those people. Hopefully, I say hopefully, but I don't know, there was also the talk about the new virus outbreak in China, supposedly. We'll see where that goes. Hopefully someone's learned something about dealing with viruses, but it doesn't seem like that's the truth. It seems like people are just going to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. It's going to be the same problem every year. I looked at this... I started this episode by saying I wanted to say some serious stuff at the start and then end with something fun at the end. And here we are talking about a crappy start to the year and not the most fun thing. We're at 25 minutes. I'm going to let's try to push this to 30 minutes. I can talk about something for 30 minutes. Man, come on. I'm a yapper. That's my job. That's the whole point of this podcast thing. A couple podcasts I've been listening to. I've been listening to Dudesy. This is with Will Sasso, as I mentioned earlier, and Chad Kultgen. It's a podcast where, the host of it is an AI. The AI's name is Dudesy, and every week, Dudesy just gives them a prompt of things to do. Will Sasso does a lot of impressions, so he'll be like, read this ad read in the voice of Hulk Hogan, and he'll be like, well, hold on a second, dude. You got to go down to Wendy's, brother, or something like that. And how about Hulk Hogan getting booed at Netflix? On the Raw on Netflix, they booed Hulk Hogan out of the country. They might as well booed him out of the country. They booed him out of the arena. But Dudesy's a good podcast. I listen to a lot of Insight with Chris Van Vliet. That he interviews a lot of pro wrestlers and movie stars and the like, and he seems like a pretty cool dude. That's one of my goals in my life is to meet him. I have that written down. He was my most listened to podcast last year, and I shared it on my Instagram story, and he liked it and reposted it and messaged me quick on Instagram and was like, "Hey man, thanks." And I was like, "Yeah man, sick." I was doing the piece. I don't know why I'm doing the piece, but that's what I did. So that was fun. Sometimes I listen to this podcast called The Weekly Planet, hosted by Mr. Sunday Movies, also known as James, and his friend Mason. And they're talking about movies, comics, and TV shows. It's really funny. It's really good, but for whatever reason, I just can't keep up with it. A lot of times they talk about modern day or current movies, and I haven't seen a lot of movies recently, kind of fallen out of seeing movies. But that's a good podcast. And that's it, I guess. Let's talk about some mundane stuff. Most people are probably tuned out at this point, so let's talk about some mundane things. So iPads were not invented when I was like a kid, but I kind of have turned into an iPad kid. I don't know if retroactively is the right word, but now I'm in a weird spot where when I'm eating something, if I have like breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever, unless I'm with friends or family, I have to be watching something. So like YouTube is on, like maybe, well, not a movie. Well, yeah, sometimes a movie, yeah. Sports, something. And it's gotten to this weird point where, like, if I wake up in the morning, or when I wake up in the morning and I don't have a video picked to watch, I could spend 30 plus minutes just scrolling, trying to find a video. And I want to be better about, like, hey, pick a video, or maybe just don't even watch a video at all. So just eat the food, okay? Like, I've noticed slowly but surely I'm picking technology over, like, human needs. Like sometimes I wake up and just, like, I have to go to the bathroom, but then I just sit there and scroll on my phone. Or, like, I'm, like, need to take a drink of water, whatever. Man, here we are again, back on these kind of, I don't know if depressing topics, but kind of, like, serious. But that's what I like. You know, one thing that annoys me about a lot of podcasts, though, there's too much BS. Like, there's too much, and everyone's a human, they're allowed to talk about whatever they want, but I like when a podcast has, like, a specific topic and, you know, specific things they want to go over. Everyone's giving, like, a fair or real take. Like, sometimes, I'll turn on a podcast and then, man, it is just an hour, you know, or less of, or more of just, like, just stupid stuff. That's all I can say. Just kind of talking in circles, whatever, right? But, you know, at the end of the day, they're humans. Like, you know, we aren't wind-up toys for other people's amusement. So, like, sometimes it could feel like that, but I want to hear, like, a real conversation, okay? It doesn't have to be the most serious thing, but as long as it's, like, focused on this specific thing. So, let's see where we're at. We're close to 30 minutes. I'll go slightly over. But that was kind of the point of my podcast, or the point of what I want to do, is just have a specific topic, try to find a way to make it, focus on that, share takes that I would be interested in hearing. It's not all about me, but that's kind of the criteria I want. And they say, like, make something that you'd want to make. So that's what I'm doing with this. Sorry, it's like my body wants to burp, but it ain't coming out, so I keep taking deep breaths in. What did everybody think of, I was about to say the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl hasn't even started. We had, like, the first round of playoffs last night. We had Washington beat Tampa Bay. The Bills are moving on. All that fun stuff. The Eagles won. I was talking about this year. I mean, we're only like a few days. I'm looking over my calendar. It is the 13th. This year's going to be a crazy one. Hopefully it's a good one for this channel. Hopefully everyone enjoys this channel. I guess on the topic of topics, if you have a suggestion for what you want me to talk about on the show, please just leave it in the comments, you know, somewhere. Send a message on, like, the community page of YouTube, something. But, alright, it's been 31 minutes here on the recording. This episode might end up being a little shorter than that. Also, like, man, every time I want to stop recording, I think of something. Here we go. I feel like with a podcast, it's like you just sit down and you talk and you hit record and that's it. But I like to edit out, like if there isn't much talking, I guess especially since it's just me, I'm going to try to edit out some of the parts where I'm not talking. Or there was a long bit where I was looking over my notes. I'm like, hey, did I say everything? But that was episode 2 of Brock Talk. I guess we're one step closer to our goal of 7 episodes. I haven't even decided like when I want to put these out. Maybe like bi-weekly, I don't know. We'll see if I even can find enough stuff to talk about. But that was episode 2 of Brock Talk. We're getting closer to 7, stairway to 7 kind of thing, right? Like Pittsburgh Steelers, all that jazz. But let's get it. I hope you like this episode. If there's anything you want me to talk about, I'll try to hit it up in the next episode. Please give me something to talk about. I'll try to give you my best thoughts on it, my best thoroughly thought out opinion on it. But yeah, we're trying to get to 140 subscribers as well by the end of January. We're at 136, so let's keep climbing. But yeah, I've been your host, Big Hat Brock. This is Brock Talk, episode 2. 2 years in the making almost. And please hit subscribe, like, all that jazz. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Fingers crossed we can get episode 3 of Brock Talk here soon. And of course, the refrigerator turns off right at the very end. So, yeah, guys, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video, alright? Peace.